What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Observe and Proceed, or welcome to the channel where I react to things. I just wanted to react to a quick little, some quick little events, quick little things I seen on the news today, give you something. And the first thing that I saw that caught my eye, this happened 7 hours ago this morning. Aston Martin driver wasn't paying attention. He died in a high-speed chase. Didn't even know that, but let's get into it. Let's see what this is.
Breaking news: an investigation is underway after a pursuit suspect dies while being taken into custody. It happened after a bad crash in Boyle Heights. KTLA's Omar Lewis live at the scene now with the latest. Omar, good morning.
Hi, Jessica. We can tell you we're here at the intersection of Soto and Washington in Boyle Heights. This is where that Aston Martin slammed right into a traffic light behind us here. As you can see, an active investigation is now underway as these investigators are trying to piece together exactly.
And let me tell you something. I've driven in a car like that before, and like the turn is it's so quick. Like you think you're just going a light turn, but it's just so swift, and it turns real quick, and like it's so like precise. Like you don't need to go all the way, but especially if you're speeding, that little turn, you're gonna go like out of control. So yeah, it's really easy to crash in these cars.
Exactly what led to this crash. We know it started as a high-speed chase, and the suspect died while in police custody. It is now creating traffic issues.
Wait, in custody? So he survived the crash, and then he died. Wow.
Their way through this area here. It all started around 3 a.m. when California Highway Patrol officers spotted a silver Aston Martin speeding through East LA, hitting over 70 miles per hour on surface streets. The chase began near Soto and Whittier, which is just a little over a mile away from where we're located. But
it's never worth it to go on these chases, bro, unless you have a bike. But even then, bro, like if you don't have a plan, man.
They called off that chase after about 2 minutes due to safety concerns. That's when an LAPD airship picked up the car from above. Moments later, the driver crashed into the traffic light here at the intersection of Soto.
So the chopper spooked them out. When they seen the police chopper, he probably got spooked out, and he was trying to do the most. As we seen on, if you've been watching these videos of mine, as soon as the chopper comes, man, people don't know what to do.
Washington totaling this car. The suspect then jumped out, took off on foot. Officers caught up to them and took them into custody. CHP says
so this is what he jumped out, took off on foot, and he ended up dying in their custody. What? Something doesn't make sense, bro.
Suspect resisted and officers tackled him to the ground. During that arrest, the man suddenly became unconscious.
Paramedics so they tackled him, and that's when.
But that suspect was pronounced dead right here on the scene, just about a block away.
That sounds fishy. That sounds, man. Obviously the guy shouldn't have been doing any of this, but they might have caused the injury from the tackle, not even the crash. See, that's the thing. I thought he died because of the crash. But if he could take out and run and then he gets tackled, probably hit his head or something. That's what killed him? Man.
From where this crash happened. Take a listen as CHP describes that moment.
There was a small amount of force that was used in the form of possibly a tackle.
Small amount?
To take the driver into custody, and he was placed into handcuffs. At this time, the fire department was called just to check on him as standard protocol. When the fire department arrived on scene, the driver started to show signs of distress and started to vomit. It is unknown if he ingested anything or if impairment is a factor at this time.
Oh, so they're saying he was on drugs.
And back out here live, we know that CHP is waiting for a search warrant to search this car for any drugs or alcohol that may have been involved.
Why would they need a search warrant if he was in a chase? And things are tricky in LA, bro. And they still gotta have to investigate, like, if he was on something. There's gonna be more that comes out from this story. I might be reporting too soon, but Yeah, there's more to this.
In this situation.
You don't know anything.
We can also tell you that this car is not reported stolen. It is registered to an address in Irvine. Investigators, again, looking into all these details to find out exactly what caused all of this to happen.
Yeah, no one knows
Meanwhile,
anything.
as far as traffic is concerned, folks are having to walk to their places of business here this morning because many of the surface streets in this area are still shut down. CHP tells us they do not have a timeline for when the roads will be reopened, but it could be later this evening. Again, you will want to avoid this area if at all possible here at Soto and Washington in Boyle Heights. That is the latest for now here live this morning. I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, so they don't know how he died, basically. They need to do an autopsy. They're going to search the car. But to me, it's sketchy that they tackled him, and that's when it happened. Granted, he shouldn't have been doing any of that, but the way the laws are, as you can see in California, like the family might try to sue or something, and he's probably well off if he was driving an Aston Martin. He might have offed himself, though. He tried to swallow the evidence. Huh. But anyway, this is another right here. This is another example of why you shouldn't go on. It's not worth it to go on these chases. Let's see this.
Dramatic video out of North Hills where at least 2 people have been injured in a violent crash triggered by a pursuit suspect.
Whoa!
This happened shortly after 7:30.
Imagine you're turning into a parking lot and some maniac just. Now I wonder if that person's all right.
Morning along Nordhoff Street near Sepulveda Boulevard.
Oof.
CHP officers.
And that's a really packed intersection, as you can see. You know, there's a bunch of cars right there, but it's like what? First of all, I know he's.
They were chasing
CHP
a
were
suspect
chasing
in a
him.
white Honda Civic at speeds of up to 125.
125 miles per hour, bro. Why would you be driving in a busy street like that? 120. Bro, I know the driver survived. He has to have survived. Throw the book at this guy. That's like murder right there. That's attempted murder. That's murder. He needs to do time for this shit. This is insane. Look at this.
Per hour. But they backed off and canceled the pursuit once the driver left the freeway.
And he's still driving like a
before
maniac.
that collision. They say the suspect crashed into at least 5 other vehicles, most of them parked cars. The CHP says the suspect and another person were taken to a local hospital in unknown conditions.
Unknown conditions. So,
Dramatic video out of North Hills
So,
where
bro,
at least 2 people have been injured in a
we
violent
don't know
crash triggered by
what
a
happened to
pursuit
the
suspect.
victim.
This happened shortly after 7:30.
I mean, who cares what happens to the
along
driver? He's
Nordhoff
an
Street near
a-hole, bro.
Sepulveda
Who drives like that, bro?
CHP officers.
That guy deserves life if it was me, you know. Anyone driving 125 on city roads should be banned from owning a vehicle and drive. Yeah, for life. Yes, agreed. And the city of Los Angeles wants you to ride a bike to work. No thank you, Mayor Bass. Right on, bro. That is, bro, that's crazy. And they backed off the chase for him because he was driving this insane. Thinking this would calm him down, but it didn't. Man, and I bet you the police chopper got on him, so he got even more panicked, just like the last story. Bruh, what is going on, bro? What is going on? Anyway, we're back to our favorite liberal city, Santa Monica. And apparently these Waymos, which by the way, me and the homie EG from Resonance Media, we did a documentary on Waymos. Go check that out. I'm gonna put the link in the description. It's a great it's everything about Waymos, the self-driving electric transportation cars. And but the people in Santa Monica have been complaining about them in their lots because they're loud and they live next to their lot. So let's see what's going on.
Ginger, thank you. Residents in one neighborhood of Santa Monica are fed up with Waymo. They're upset over traffic and noise from the self-driving taxis at their charging stations. They say the beeping sounds from the cars are keeping them up all day.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, they beep a lot because that's how they maneuver around. That's how, like, beep, out my way, beep. And they beep at each other, too, especially when they're parking. That's how they communicate on some AI car shit. So it's kind of baffling that they made their stations near people, but they literally, like, in a lot between the apartments. It's crazy.
and all night. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live now in Santa Monica.
See, I like that.
With
There it
the
is.
Story. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey, Jess, good morning to you. Well, Waymo tells me that they have multiple lots throughout Los Angeles where their cars are able to go and charge. But really the controversy is surrounding the two located right here in Santa Monica. I'm standing in front of both of them. There's one right next to each other here. And you can see the Waymo lined up those cars one after the other. And the residents tell us, the ones who at least live right next to these charging lots, that there is noise coming from these areas all day and all night. Really, when it comes to the backing up, beeping of these cars. And it is creating this controversy and creating this battle between the company, Waymo, and the residents that is now reaching a whole new level.
24 hours noise. If you watch this, especially come at nighttime, I can get to sleep, and then a couple hours later, I'm waking up because I'm hearing the noise. I can't even have my windows open, only during the day.
This is exactly like how they communicate, because if you've seen the document, if you watched it after this video, you'll see that, yeah, these things, if you place like a cone in front of them, they'll just keep anything in front of them, they'll just keep beeping. And also another Waymo vehicle, when they're parking, like they're still working on the technology. I mean, it's good, but it's not like top of the level yet. So they have to communicate like that. So my whole thing is like, you would think they would build their lots like somewhere in a warehouse, like somewhere far from a neighborhood, but they're right in between the neighborhood. And you know what? The city of Santa Monica is also responsible for this, because you know they're liberal ran leaders. They love this type of stuff. They think it's innovative, just like drinking on the 3rd Street Promenade is gonna bring business. You know, you got to go to your city officials.
So I don't know what to do. City councils, I've notified them.
Yeah, they don't care.
Why'd they put this right here in residential?
Because they're liberals, bro. It depends who you vote for. Stop voting Democrat.
Using cones, cars, and sometimes even themselves, blocking the Waymos from entering the charging parking lot. It's gotten to a point where the company has reportedly called the cops on residents half a dozen times.
Oh, wow.
With residents saying they've called the city, they've called Waymo, but that backup beeping continues to keep them up at night. Now, it's important to note here, federal regulations require electric cars to make a sound when backing up to alert pedestrians and cyclists, with Waymo releasing this statement to us saying this morning, quote, "We strive to be good neighbors in the cities that we operate and are committed to being a positive presence in Santa Monica. We are in ongoing conversation with the city's Department of Transportation and are actively working with the agency as we explore and implement mitigations that address neighbors' concerns."
No improvement. Why are they even using the alley? They could have put the gate on that road right there, and so it would be open, not so it's all...
City officials, it's who you vote for.
With the
Democrats.
Doors going out. I just don't know why it's here.
They don't be thinking, bro.
Back here live at the charging lot, you're looking at some of those mitigations. Waymo is telling us this morning that they put in these plants that you see around the entire lot to keep...
and Waymo don't care, bro. They're running a business. The city allowed them to do this. They're going to do it.
To block the light and help block some of the noise. Also, they've said that employees are instructed to keep noise levels down. So that means not playing music loud at night in consideration of the neighbors. Also, don't use any of the vacuums overnight between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. also to help with that noise. But residents here saying that that noise really coming from that incessant beeping sound that comes every time a Waymo backs up into one of these parking spaces. They say when you think about one Waymo car, it's not that bad, but all of these,
all of them, yeah, that's
just
true.
over 50, adds up and keeps them up at night. I spoke to one resident who says it's not that big of an issue, but the majority of folks that we've spoken to say it's a real problem. And
so this guy says just disable the beeping when the vehicle is in the charging lot, but you don't understand. That's how they communicate with each other to park. They need to do that. It's stupid. It's AI. It's still being worked on. Another person says Santa Monica people will complain about anything under the sun. If not for this, it would be something else. Consider the source. Consider that vote. You know, I'm gonna put it Like voting Democrat. There it is, an active comment. Anyway, check out our video on Waymo that I did with the homie EG from Resonance Media. And I just want to put out this quick video for you guys. Enjoy your weekend. God bless you. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back. Have a great one.